Farmall 51 here. Alright, here's going to be a bit of a help video. Most of you know on these offset tractors, there's not so much on the fast hitch models, but the models like the Cubs and your A's and your earlier tractors didn't have fast hitch and they had a drawbar. Most all your implements worked off of these 4 holes on each side of the final drive. So your drawbar hooked here. So if you're doing a lot of trailer work, you're a lot of you know, push pulling, jerking motion. Your cultivators hooked off the back here, especially these rear holes, and those holes get wore off more often than the front two. Most of the front two were like your swinging drawbar or your depth lever and all that would hook to. So what I've got here on my side, as you can see, it's not correct. It's not right. It's here some homemade stuff. So technically what's supposed to be in there is this size bolt here. What's 5/8 or something, or I think it's 5/8. As you can see here, that they've put, I think this is a family tractor, so I guess over time these holes back here with this mower, when they had the mower on it, which this is all this tractor ever did was with the mower. This is the 51 model Cub that the 42 mower is going to go back on. So what I'm trying to do is, what we're going to do is we're going to drill this hole out to a 49/64 size hole, tap it with the 7/8 bit, put a thread insert here that will bring it back to a 5/8. 5/8 11 is from 7/8 9 to a 5/8 11 hole. So it will be just like the other side here. So you can use your bolts, because these bolts here, some of you don't know, see how they're tapered here on the end. Well, here's a perfect example. Most all the implements back here, or any brackets or anything like that, had some type of taper to it, and that bolt would lock. The bolt would lock in there. You can see how it would lock in there, and it wouldn't allow it to move. I'm just trying to get it back to like it's supposed to be. Some people say, well, just turn the final drives around, and yeah, that I could have done that, but I mean, you're talking about taking the whole final drive off, and that would have just been a daggone mess, and I'm not into that. You know, like I said before, do it like you're supposed to, do it right. Like I say, in the long run, I'll be happy. It'll make me happy to have this back like it's supposed to be, and not some jerry-rigged mess, because you'll still have those 2 holes up there that won't be right. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill these 2 bottom holes out, tap them, put the inserts in there, so we can use the regular bolt. Yeah, I know this is not right, but my the handle that I have won't go, just is too big to fit in the hole there. So use this crescent wrench here. But yeah, I already cut this one in, and you can see it's sticking out just a little bit about one and a half thread lengths there. The end of this tap, as you know, if you know what a tap looks like on the end, it sort of tapers down, and I'm guessing what I bottomed out here, so I went this here went as far as the thread would allow it. So, but it's a good inch, I'd say a good inch in there, and that's enough to hold that. So what I'm gonna do is, and I've got it Loctited pretty good. So as soon as this Loctite cures, I'm gonna take the angle grinder and just kind of grind this flush here. But yeah, that's about as far as you can go with it because of that tap right there. Like I said, I just bottomed this one out here, and I'm going through and re-cleaning, making sure I got all the threads cleaned out good, so when I run the next one through here. 49/64, and I'll do an inventory of what you'll need to do this. Like most of this stuff I got on Amazon, but this drill bit I had to go at a place called Wilder's up here in Raleigh. They've got every nut, bolt configuration that you could ever think of in any size. So they usually carry the little taps and drill bits and stuff like that, but you can see there how that one is going in there pretty good. I got the oil on it. I'm just checking that. I'll go ahead and run that all the way in. See now, it bottomed out right there. That's as far as it's going to go. You can take that. Pull this all the way back out, and I'll let you see that gaping hole it's got in it. The inside of that hole goes to a point almost. I'm guessing from the factory they drilled that. So my drill bit, I went as far as till I started to see the very end of the hole turn shiny, where it was starting to shave it off, and I ain't going no further. We don't make no. Get my light over here. You can see I'm going to the end there. Just did touch the end of the inside of the very end of the hole. Just did touch it. So it's got threads most of the way in there, but the further them threads go in there toward the end, they get shallower. So that's why that piece stopped. But there's not much you can do with it, the way the tap's designed. So about right there at the end of my finger is about as far as you can go. And about right in here is where it's going to. So I'm sure there's probably a special tap that you run in there to finish out the threads, but we don't have that. That was about $40 some there. The drill bit was about $50 for the drill bit. You can see the size of the hole versus the size of the one up here on top. That's the original hole, and then that's the drilled in tap hole. We'll run our insert in there here in a second as soon as I clean that out, clean those shavings out. Alright, both the inserts are in. Sorry, I'm on my phone here, and don't do as good as the GoPro, but there's some of the Loctite on there, but like I said, we'll grind that off later down the outer edge so it'll be flush with the rest here. Alright, got those thread, got both them inserts in. Like I say, I'm gonna have to grind off that last bit of thread or edge there on them. But I was gonna kind of give you like a little bit of a supply list or what I use here to do that job. They call it the easy. Well, there's 2 or 3 different ones of these. One has some pins in it, which I didn't. And this one here's just got 2 cuts on it. You can see right there. You just use a big screwdriver or something like that to drive it in. But these are the Easy Lock 303-10. There's 5. This is an Amazon deal, so there's a 5 in a pack. And we basically went, the outside thread here is a 7/8 by 9 thread, and the inside went back to the original 5/8 by 11 thread. So, and then here you use the 49/64 drill bit. This is just the one I happen to get here. That's what I used on that. Drilled it out. Like I say, just use your eyeball, and you can do it straight if you know how to use a drill. So this is the tap, the 7/8 by 9 tap. So you can see how it tapers off. So that's what kind of hurt me a little bit on that, but there's enough thread there to hold that. And when you pull that in there and drive that thing all the way home, it'll be good to go. So, all right, and then like I say, I tapped it out with the 7/8 by 9 tap. Then drove the insert, and it come already with thread locker on it, but I went ahead and added a little bit more because I wanted to make sure, and that's what I've always used, thread locker, the red label, high strength 271. I don't know if that's what I've always used, and that tube there is pretty old. So basically, this what was in there, and it drilled the threads out of this, like I say, and this is what basically it'll be like in the hole. So just a little insert, enough to give you some threads. You can see there. Maybe get a little bit further off there. So just enough to give you, you can be able to size it back down to the original specs, to the IH bolt there. So, but I hope that helps you. Like I say, a lot of this stuff can be found on Amazon. You can Google. I've got some machine books that I use for referencing, but there's nothing like just getting on Google and typing in what you're going to do. And then the Farmall Cub group on Facebook, they're real good help. Farmallcub.com is a pretty good help too. There's a lot of good people on there that'll give you some good information. But like I say, this is basically what I used. And actually what I used to drive it in was a washer that I stuck in between the two little slits there and drove it right in just no problem. Like I say, the drill bit 4964, the 7/8 11 tap, and then the 303-10 easy lock inserts with your Loctite. I just added some because I wanted to make sure it was going to stick. But that's it. And like I say, the thread was repaired. Now I can go ahead and put my drawbar back on when I get there. Like I said, I got to grind it down first, and I'll go ahead and put my drawbar, put my plates back on, my drawbar back on, so I can go ahead and put my mower. Video probably another week or so. I'll put the we'll do an install video on the Woods 42 mower. So, all right, thanks for watching.